Yeah, why you so fodder, dog? Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, World 4665, and a Midnight Gemlord. Now, if you come to this discussion on why Gawain is so unbelievably weak relative to her previous people, please leave your own thoughts on why Gawain is weak in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you hit that little notification bell to miss out on any videos that come with the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below and Twitter first as $1 a month, including exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion about how you can become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here, and Gawain is weird. Weird for multiple reasons. Uncountable reasons. One, just on how Nakaba decided to design her. And two, in terms of her power, right? Because I'm pretty sure we all know to some various degree, based on what she has shown us, the abilities she possesses, and what she's supposed to be, the surrogate child of Escanor and Merlin. That just didn't happen because Escanor got put in the juiciest pack of 7 deadly sins, the only pack that actually stayed smokable. With that being the case, it's obvious she has sunshine, right? There's no debate about that. It just flat out is sunshine. She calls herself the master of the sun. We've seen sunshine incarnate in humans before. She is literally 16, and Escanor died 16 years ago, and the Grace can reincarnate whenever it wants. So it reincarnating in Gawain makes sense. It's possible. It happens. It'd be like that when it'd be like that sometimes. However, the thing is, it seems so much drastically weaker than when we last saw it. Notably, we have absolutely no idea what time of day it was when the crew finally arrived to Leonis, when obviously we got all the various battles that we went through. But still, characters like Afternoon Escanor, Afternoon Mael, Morning Mael, all the stuff like that. Oh, heck, Morning Escanor. They were monsters. They were beasts. They were demons. They were unstoppable. They were not mid-commandment tier, to put it lightly, right? The fact that Gawain is struggling to fight Galen and needs to think outside the box and Duraneg him, when Galen, at the last time we saw him, literally ran for his life and invoked his own commandment against Escanor, is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, right? What's with the drastic power differential here? Why is there such a large gap? And until Final Shine Escanor, which is an entirely different beast, don't get me wrong, even Mael was a monster in the afternoon. We know when he shows up and fights against Zeldris and one-shots the original demon, bro is literally in the afternoon. He doesn't have noon available anymore. Bro is literally losing power as we speak and as he fights. But he's still a demon, a monster, a beast. I don't think he would have any trouble with Chaos Galen, and or would struggle at all against Chaos Meligaland, I suppose. The fusion he wouldn't have, neither would have Escanor. So what's up with Gawain? And you gotta realize Gawain is the only one of our group that actually has a sacred treasure, or at least a piece of one. Lita was partially crafted by Dabuzu because it came from Rita, the axe that was crafted by Dabuzu. So reasonably, she had the best chance, the most amps, the juiciest thing. But for some reason, she's way weaker than Demon Tristan. Beneath, outside of Duraneg, she is just beneath Chaos Galen. There's nothing about that that's changing. She's weaker than Pelgard. The level of power she should have access to should be way higher, even late in the day. So why? Why do I believe that Gawain is weaker? And I think it literally is because she did not naturally inherit sunshine, for one, and two, I think there's actually just a flat-out limiter placed on the magic in comparison to what it was before. Let's talk about why. Number one, we gotta realize the Sunshine Grace not even the Sunshine Grace, it turned into Sunshine when it went into Escanor. The Sun Grace took 3,000 years to find a new vessel. We gotta realize, maybe even more, because Mael became Estarossa before the end of the Holy War. And we don't know how much longer it raged before these things happened. And with that being the case, it's a bare minimum 3,000 years before it found a human host and decided, yeah, you know what, fella, I'm gonna merge with you, and then we got Escanor. So for it to just immediately hop to another human seems a bit strange, right? Like I don't think that's an organic process that happened there, especially considering who Gawain is. Like Gawain is not a rando. She's the niece of King Arthur, and who happens to be King Arthur's right-hand woman? Merlin. Who does Merlin happen to be? The greatest sorcerer in the verse. Who did she happen to have interest in? Escanor. What did Escanor have? Sunshine. What does Gawain now have? Sunshine. Like I think it's pretty obvious at this point that Gawain was not just born lucky. Like she didn't just happen to be born with sunshine. It was just like, oh, you know, luck of the draw, fellas, I guess. Like it just happened to end up with her. Someone who has direct ties to Camelot. Like, you're telling me you don't seem a little bit suspicious, a little bit shady, a little bit foolish, a little bit silly, a little bit goofy, if you will, that the princess of the enemy nation just happened to get the ability of one of their top members' love interest. I don't know. It just seems a little bit shady to me. And that would also explain why she's weaker. Because what did we learn about Sunshine in the previous series? That bad boy was not built for a human body. It was Escanor's innate born magic. Like, he was born with Sunshine, as he says itself. It's literally infused with his soul. Like, you interact with his soul and you deal with the sun. But even still, his body was not cracked up for it. Bro was literally dying at age 40. And admittedly, at that time period, the life expectancy was very, very low. So Escanor was already living a pretty long life. But regardless, in terms of the ability itself, it makes sense that if Merlin, hypothetically, once again, we're talking pure hypotheticals, we have not gotten confirmation of any of this. Maybe Gawain was just born lucky and she just happened to get it, and she's just weaker for arbitrary reasons because plot and stuff like that. But if I had to see an explanation, what I assume that Merlin would do is that she would get Sunshine, put it into someone like Gawain, because she is a direct tie to Camelot. She reasonably should just be an asset to Camelot in every way, shape, and form. There's no reason that she shouldn't be. But with that being the case, she should just be an asset to Camelot as a direct tie into it through the brother of Arthur. And with that being the case, I could see Merlin planting it in her, but realizing, hold on, wait a second, she's still just a pure human. Like, there's nothing special about her. She's not a goddess. She doesn't have any demon blood in her. But the demon blood would actually jack her up worse. She's not a fairy. She's not a giant. I can't let her have access to the full power, because it will literally burn through her life force. And it would explain why Gawain is drastically weaker than she should be. Like, even pre-end of series, final shine stuff. Because obviously that Escanor was different. One way or another, that boy... Don't mess with that boy, he was not one of them. But regardless, with that being the case, and him being different, even pre that, he was way more powerful than Gawain is. But we obviously know the cost that came with being his shortened lifespan. So Merlin not only getting an asset for Camelot, because who knows, maybe Arthur would want it. Maybe she just thinks, you know, it's a good asset to have, would input a limiter on the magic so it wouldn't burn through Gawain's lifespan, and would be more under her control in comparison to where it would kind of just run rampant if Escanor didn't have the glasses, or if he wasn't directly trying to manipulate himself. And that could pretty much excuse Gawain's lower level of power, and could definitely explain how she gets stronger later on, because compared to a lot of the other characters, she doesn't necessarily have to insane potential. Lancelot is also in a weird spot where he's already very, very strong, but he can still get his wings. He can still get a weapon. He can still get a spirit spear, stuff like that. Like, he has direct external amps that he could still get. Percival, bro, has infinite potential. Like, all you need to do is keep hurting him, and bada bing, bada boom, he'll keep coming back stronger. And he also has a whole other unexplored side of his power that we haven't even gotten into yet. We haven't even seen more of Despair Percy yet. So obviously, he has more sauce in the bag that we haven't even seen yet. Meanwhile, Gawain is like, just even compares to Tristan. Tristan has unlimited sauce that bro hasn't even unlocked yet. Bro hasn't unlocked a fraction of his demonic control yet, and we saw how powerful that is. Meanwhile, Gawain, like, what route does she really have to get stronger outside of training her base state? But even then, how much does that really matter when Sunshine keyword should give you a set amp? And if her amp is only as much, if she's that big and that buff and she's still struggling against mid-tier commandments, I don't know. So I'm definitely leaning on the idea that she was gifted Sunshine, likely by Merlin, and Merlin trained her, and Merlin placed a limiter on Sunshine so Gawain could live a longer life than Escanor ever did. Because it's the only way I can really rationalize Gawain being so weak when her predecessors were so unbelievably powerful. The strongest of the 4 archangels and the second strongest member of the 7 deadly sins would not produce such a weak follow-up if their magic was unrestrained. However, if their magic was restrained, I could definitely see them suffering in terms of output. However, that's what I think. Please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications must miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. It's more for as low as $1 a month. Exclusive videos, early content, and more. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Manga with a pencil, writing off.